All right, today we're diving deep into the absolute core engine that powers, well, pretty much everything you do. It's the reason you can think, the reason you can move, the reason you can even breathe. So, let's get into it.
You ever stop and think about that? How does something like a sandwich actually turn into the raw power you need to run a marathon? It seems almost magical, right? But the answer isn't magic. It's an incredibly elegant process that's happening at trillions of times a second inside every single one of your cells.
I want you to picture each of your cells as this tiny, bustling factory. And right at the heart of that factory is this incredibly sophisticated engine, just humming along, constantly taking in raw materials and churning out pure, usable energy. And this isn't just a cool analogy. It's literally the core of how we live. So every factory has to have a power plant, right? Where is it? Where exactly inside our cells can we find this incredible engine? Let's go find it. It all goes down inside these amazing little structures called mitochondria. If the cell's a factory, then the mitochondrion is the power plant, working around the clock 24/7 to keep the lights on and all the machinery running. This is the spot where food truly becomes fuel.
Okay, but you wouldn't put just any old fuel in a high-performance engine. So what is the precise type of fuel that our microscopic engines are designed to run on? Now, this is where your body gets seriously efficient. It doesn't matter if you eat carbs, fats, or proteins. Your body has this brilliant refining process where it breaks them all down and converts them into one single universal fuel. It's a molecule called acetyl-CoA. You can think of it like the standardized nozzle at a gas pump. It makes sure any energy source can plug right in and power the engine. Okay, so we know where the engine is, and we know what fuel it takes. Now for the fun part. Let's pop the hood and see exactly how this thing works. So, here's the formal name for our engine, the TCA cycle. You might also hear it called the Krebs cycle. But the most important word to focus on here is cycle. See, this isn't a straight line where fuel goes in one end and energy pops out the other. Nope. It's a continuous loop, like a metabolic wheel that's constantly spinning, processing more fuel with every single turn. So here's how a new turn of the cycle gets going. Our little 2-carbon fuel molecule, acetyl-CoA, it hops onto the wheel. It immediately merges with a 4-carbon molecule that's already there waiting. And that combination, bam, creates a new 6-carbon molecule. And that's the spark that gets the engine turning for another revolution. And get this, because this is where this tiny microscopic process connects directly to you. As the cycle spins and breaks down that fuel, it creates waste products, exhaust. And the main exhaust is carbon dioxide. For every one turn of the wheel, 2 molecules of CO2 are produced. This is the exact same CO2 that travels to your lungs and that you exhale with every breath. It is literally your engine's exhaust. How cool is that? So as the molecule continues its journey around the cycle, it gets systematically broken apart and reshaped. And at each step, the really important thing happens. High-energy electrons are harvested. They get picked up by these special taxi molecules, you might know them as NADH and FADH2, and they carry that energy off to the next stage. And then in a final bit of biochemical genius, the cycle regenerates that original 4-carbon molecule, leaving it perfectly ready and waiting for the next shipment of fuel. It is a perfect self-renewing loop. Okay, so we've loaded up all these molecular taxis with high-energy electrons. But where are they going? And how does that captured energy actually end up powering our cells? Now, this is a really, really important distinction to make. The TCA cycle doesn't directly produce the cell's ready-to-use fuel. Instead, those NADH and FADH2 molecules we just met, think of them like barrels of crude oil. They are packed with potential, full of high-energy electrons, but they need to be sent to another part of the power plant, a refinery, if you will, to be processed into ATP. And ATP, that's the high-octane gasoline that actually powers everything the cell does. So we've got this incredibly powerful engine, but what stops it from just running out of control? I mean, a factory that just runs at full blast all the time would be incredibly wasteful. Well, it turns out our cells are much, much smarter than that. The cell has this beautiful feedback system. When it's totally full of energy, meaning it has high levels of that ready-to-use ATP fuel, the ATP itself acts as a stop signal. It essentially talks back to the TCA cycle and says, hey, we're all topped up over here. You can slow down now. This prevents the cell from wasting precious fuel. But on the flip side, when you're exercising and burning through energy, your ATP levels start to drop. And that drop sends an urgent signal to the TCA cycle to kick it into high gear. The engine speeds up, it starts processing more fuel, and it ramps up the production of those energy-rich carrier molecules to meet the new demand. This simple on-off switch, this elegant little feedback loop, is exactly what makes our metabolism so responsive and so intelligent. It perfectly matches energy supply with energy demand, moment by moment, making sure nothing ever goes to waste. And that really just sums the whole thing up perfectly. The TCA cycle isn't just one pathway among many. It is the grand central station of metabolism. It's that critical junction where all the major food groups, carbs, fats, proteins, all arrive to be converted into the potential energy that keeps us alive. So from powering that marathon to the very breath you just took, it all comes back to this one single spinning metabolic engine. And that leaves us with a fascinating final thought. If this cycle is so central to all of life, it's also a major point of vulnerability. So what if we could learn to fine-tune this engine, to maybe slow it down in cancer cells that need tons of energy, or speed it up to combat metabolic disorders? The future of medicine might just lie inside this tiny, perfect cycle.